Shalom, shalom, and welcome. This is Extinction Protocols, preparing for transitions. I invite you to consider reading 1 Corinthians 15th chapter and 50th verse, as well as 1 John 3:2. My brothers and sisters, these are a series of messages to those who will be among the ranks of the 144,000 mentioned in Revelation, and multitude of every nation, kindred, and tongues. And although it says multitude, my brothers and sisters, it will be a remnant as compared or contrast against the population of the planet, which is well over 7.2 billion people. These messages, my brothers and sisters, are to you who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father and accept that it is Yahushua, that is our Messiah, our Mashiach. It is to you who I believe are indeed the true olive trees, true tribes of Yasharal, commonly known as Israel, and golden lampstands, multitude, grafted together as one, a body of one under the banner of Yasharal. Today is May 19th, 2014, and my name is Symmanayah, and these are the words I am compelled to present before you. This segment of Extinction Protocols is entitled In the Flow, or Blocking Pathways. Allow me to define the word protocol. It is a system of rules that explains the correct conduct and procedures to be followed in formal situations. I am compelled to believe this new series will prove to reflect necessary protocols as they relate to man's extinction, or it could be worded as to our transition in these final days. Pray and watch. My brothers and sisters, take a moment and reflect on your studies or teachings or things that you have been exposed to related to righteousness, and ask yourself, what do you remember regarding a time when someone or individuals who were spared in the face of destruction, in the face of the wrath of the Almighty Father? I submit to you, just as in days of old, so will we witness similar events unfold, where there will be those who face one of two positions. We will either be in the flow of righteousness and obedience towards righteous orders and commands, or we will find ourselves blocking pathways and removed as obstacles. I don't think it takes rocket science to discern what is at risk if we are in a position of blocking pathways towards obedience. We are being refined, my brothers and sisters, and a challenging journey lies ahead. It will prove to come with humbling times, reproof, discipline, and right rulings, judgment. It will prove to demonstrate that there will be chosen leaders by the Spirit of Yahushua to lead and guide us. End time prophecies are being fulfilled, and they are not, absolutely not, waiting on anyone. Soon and very soon, end time prophecies will reach the face of every individual on the planet. No one walking among us physically, that will be physically living, will be exempt from witnessing extreme drought, famine, pestilence, and disease. We will be refined. We will be humbled, as well as we will come to see power and might from the Spirit of Yahushua rise up within us like never before. End times will prove to produce forced transitions and movements in order to fulfill what is written in scriptures. Allow me to present the three most obvious accounts, but I invite you to think of others. The days of Noah, as it relates to the flood. Did we not witness Noah and his family in the flow of obedience, and those who were obstacles removed by way of the flood? The time of Lot regarding the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. Did we not witness Lot and his family being removed? Those who were chosen and led by the hand by the messengers of the Almighty, in the wake of those who were, before those who were destroyed, as sulfur came down, fire and brimstone from above. What about when Yasharal was led out of Mitzrayim, or Egypt, and they crossed the Red Sea on dry ground? Did we not witness those who were in the flow of the commands of the Most High and followed his anointed, his leaders, versus those who were blocking the pathways or attempted to stop what was happening. Now ponder and pray and ask yourself, are there any other occasions where individual lives were saved versus facing destruction? Because we know when Yahshua was led out of Mitzrayim, there were many of Pharaoh's men that were drowned in the Red Sea. Most of us are aware of Judgment Day, so try to discover other accounts where people were spared in the face of destruction. There may be those among you who have heard me reference Numbers 16th chapter, when the earth opened up and swallowed the rebellious, those who fought against the Almighty Father and his chosen leaders. Let me present another example of obstacles being removed and people who were spared from the destruction executed by the Almighty Father. It is the story that is familiar to many as the story of Jericho, when the walls came tumbling down. I will read an excerpt, Joshua 6 chapter verses 20 through 25. And it reads as follows. And the people shouted when the priest blew the horns. And it came to be when the people heard the sound of the horn, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat. Could this wall be something that was blocking the pathways of the warriors of the Most High? This wall fell flat. And it goes on to read, and the people went up into the city, every man straight forward before him, and they captured the city. And they put under the ban all that was in the city, both man and woman, young and old, ox and sheep, donkey, with the edge of the sword. In other words, they killed them. And the two men who had spied out the land, Yehoshua said, go into the house of the woman, the whore, and from there bring out the woman and all that she has, as you swore to her. And the young men, the spies, went in and brought out Rahab, and her father and her mother and her brothers and all that she had. So they brought out all her relatives and set them outside the camp of Yashral. And they burned the city and all that was in it with fire. Only the silver and gold and the vessels of bronze and of iron they put into the treasury of the house of Yahuwah. However, Yehoshua kept alive Rahab the whore, her father's household, and all that she had, and she dwelt in the midst of Yasharal to this day, because she hid the messengers whom Yehoshua sent to spy out Jericho. So we see destruction and death, and we see someone spared, lives spared. My brothers and sisters, imagine if a group of people came to your block and marched around your block 7 times, and then afterwards the walls of your home, apartment, or dwelling place and those right next to it all came tumbling down and exposed you, and those that were in your household were all exposed with no more shelter. How would you feel? See, all too often we read about what happened in times past, but never pause to imagine or envision what may have occurred. All too often we fail to even consider the perspective of those who conquered or those who were destroyed. Notice that the walls came down in Jericho, but if you look closely, Joshua 6 chapter verse 25, Rahab and her father and her household, she was spared. Just as there were many instances where the Most High Father removed obstacles by destruction and death while sparing the obedient or those whom he favored, the days are soon coming whereas we will witness such events occur again. The challenge now becomes, what choices will we make? Will we be in the flow of righteous instructions, guidance, and obedience? Or will we find ourselves on the other side, blocking pathways or being obstructive of the obedience? Those who will be in the presence of what's to come will face life or death decisions, including those who have good intentions could be at risk of sudden death. Remember the story of Uzzah. He had good intentions, but it resulted in his death because his good intentions were wicked, because he disobeyed what was supposed to occur regarding carrying the Ark of the Covenant on the shoulders. The realities of what's unfolding is coming, and believe me, it's coming in our direction. So choose wisely how you manage your time and who you spend your time in fellowship with in order to prepare for the extreme times ahead. I assure you, compromising spirits, teachings, practices, and behaviors will not continue among the children of obedience. Unity will be established among the children of obedience. Unity will be reflective among the 144,000 and multitude, the true olive trees and golden lampstands. And remember, hindsight can be a dangerous thing. Not everyone will get a second chance to get things right. Are you preparing yourself and loved ones regarding having a ready mind, body, and soul to be in the flow of righteous orders versus blocking pathways of the obedient? Choose wisely. Our days have been shortened and our final exodus approaches. A storm is coming, my brothers and sisters, and it will intensify with each passing moment. Choose wisely whom you will serve. Seek earnestly to discern and understand what must be done. An awakening nation will emerge, my brothers and sisters. And remember, times will come to prove whether we are in the flow of righteousness and walking in obedience, or whether we are obstacles as one blocking pathways. This will not stop the awakening of a nation so ordered by the Most High. There will be righteous and living guidance and leadership directed by those chosen and led by the Spirit of Yahushua Messiah. Humbling conditions and events will prove these words to be true. Let us take heed, my brothers and sisters. Instructions and warnings come with a purpose and will ensue with actions, be followed with actions. Continue on, my brothers and sisters. Press forward and be encouraged. I pray that you're able to endure to the very end. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, I invite you to continue listening to this series of Extinction Protocols, preparing for transition. For as I speak, my brothers and sisters, the drought continues to spread across the planet. How many people realize that as long as it continues to be an increasing drought, eventually we will see a reduction in food supplies that will result in extreme food shortages, extreme famine? It's coming, my brothers and sisters. The storm is coming. Will you prepare? Will you seek to discern and understand what is expected of you? Do you believe there will be a final exodus? Seek earnestly to discern and understand whether you will be among the ranks of those gathered and taken to a safe place, or whether you would be required to be a martyr and stand strong and represent the reign of Yahushua. End times are real, my brothers and sisters. Let us press forward in preparedness for our Messiah, our Mashiach, Yahushua, soon will return. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, stay tuned as Extinction Protocols continues. Shalom, shalom, shalom.